Some stories are never finished. They're just filed away. Welcome to Chronicles of the Obscure. Imagine this. Vintém Hill, Rio de Janeiro. August 20th, 1966. A young boy is out looking for his lost kite when he stumbles upon two men lying side by side on the grass. They're motionless, dressed in formal suits underneath transparent plastic raincoats. But the strangest part? Over their faces are bizarre, carefully molded lead masks, covering their eyes completely. There's no blood, no sign of a struggle, no visible injury whatsoever. Beside them lies a handwritten note, a couple of empty water bottles, and a small bag. The men are identified as Miguel Jose Viana and Manuel Pereira da Cruz. Both were skilled electronics technicians, husbands and fathers. They had left their homes a few days earlier, telling their families they were going on a special mission and would return soon. They never did. This is the lead masks case, a death scene that looks less like a crime and more like a ritual interrupted, or a bizarre meeting that never happened. Let's open up the evidence locker and catalog the surreal items found at the scene. First, the bodies. Both Miguel and Manuel were in their 30s, well-nourished, with no signs of trauma. The initial autopsies were baffling. They found no poison, no drugs, no signs of disease. The official cause of death was listed as unknown, with the possibility of sudden cardiac arrest. Then, there are the masks. They were made of lead, seemingly custom-fitted to their faces, with eye holes that were covered by a dark film. Why lead? Lead is known to shield against radiation and electromagnetic waves. This wasn't something you could just buy off a shelf. And the note, handwritten in Portuguese, only deepens the mystery. It contained a set of bizarre instructions. Key phrases included: after the protective masks are in place, wait for the agreed-upon signal. And ominously, bury the bodies if something happens. It also mentioned, we are seeking contact. Contact with what? Or whom? Their personal items were mundane by comparison. 2 empty water bottles, a bag with towels and some extra clothing, and a significant amount of money in their pockets. The timeline shows they traveled by bus from their hometown to Rio, then took a taxi to the remote hill. The last time anyone saw them alive, they were buying the water bottles, just hours before their bodies were discovered. This strange collection of evidence has fueled decades of speculation. Let's step up to the theory board and see what we can piece together. Theory number 1. UFO or extraterrestrial contact. This is probably the most popular theory, and for good reason. Both Miguel and Manuel were active members of local spiritualist and UFO study groups. They were known to be fascinated with the idea of making contact. The lead masks could have been their attempt to protect themselves from radiation during a close encounter with an alien craft. Maybe they were waiting for a ship that never arrived, and they succumbed to exposure or a sudden, unexplained illness on that hillside. Theory number 2. An occult or spiritualist ritual. Brazil in the 1960s was a vibrant hub of syncretic spiritualism, blending different beliefs and practices. The masks, the note, the specific location, it all points towards a carefully planned ritual. Perhaps they were trying to contact higher entities or spirits, and something went terribly, fatally wrong. Did the ritual trigger a shared psychological breakdown or a simultaneous physiological crisis? Theory number 3. An electronics experiment gone horribly wrong. Let's not forget, these men were highly skilled electronics technicians. They might have been testing some kind of homemade device involving high voltage or powerful electromagnetic fields. The lead masks could have been their makeshift shielding. An accidental discharge from their own equipment could have easily caused simultaneous cardiac arrest, leaving no visible trace of injury. Theory number 4. A suicide pact with a mystical twist. The note's instructions to bury the bodies certainly implies they were prepared for the possibility of death. The ritualistic elements might have been their way of transcending this life together, turning a suicide into a spiritual journey. It's a dark thought, but the evidence doesn't rule it out. And finally, theory number 5. Murder, cleverly disguised as a paranormal event. Could a third party have been involved? Someone who coerced them into this strange ritual and then induced their deaths through undetectable means, like a fast-acting poison that metabolizes without a trace. The lack of any struggle suggests they either complied willingly or were taken completely by surprise. The case officially remains open in Brazil, a staple in UFO literature and true mystery anthologies. In the 1990s, researchers managed to track down family members of the two men. They confirmed that Miguel and Manal had a deep, consuming interest in contact with higher intelligences. This wasn't just a casual hobby for them. Modern analysis of the note as language suggests it reads more like a set of instructions for an anticipated event, not a traditional suicide note. It was a checklist for a procedure they believed they were about to undertake. And those lead masks, they are still preserved in an evidence locker today, and they are utterly unique. No similar case has ever been recorded anywhere in the world. The enduring legacy of the lead masks case is its sheer narrative impossibility. It feels like a science fiction plot that somehow escaped the page and happened to two ordinary men on a lonely Brazilian hillside. The lead masks case is more than just an unsolved mystery. It's a fascinating window into the 1960s, a time when technology, spirituality, and the vast unknown were colliding in new and sometimes dangerous ways. It forces us to ask, how far will rational, intelligent people go in their pursuit of the irrational? And what happens when that thin line between a scientific experiment and an act of faith blurs, with fatal consequences? What do you think happened on that hill? Were Viana and Cruz waiting for a UFO, conducting a secret experiment, or performing a spiritual ritual that went wrong? Let me know your verdict in the comments below. Thanks for joining us in the archives. Don't forget to subscribe to Chronicles of the Obscure for more stories that defy explanation.